Hello friends, this is Coldrun. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. We are here in Elpis after the wild ending, where Medion and the Matea, because I really think there's a, well, where the Matea went kind of full dark side and used their empathy for evil. Not for evil, but they were overwhelmed by empathizing with some really people, some souls in a really bad spot. And yeah, things kind of went off the rails, but Venat and Pigeon here both survived the memory wipe, which is good, and so did I. And before we get started on this, I got two things. I got two new minions, the Wind-Up Maga sisters and Wind-Up Anima. Did I grind for them and get them through hard work and gumption? No, I just bought them on the market board. Because I thought they would be super expensive, but no, they were only like 100,000 gil. So Wind-Up Maga sisters. Usually 3 minions per one. So it represents great value. That's a great point. Here we are. Wind-Up Maga sisters. The Maga sisters are revered deities in Thavnares, and their images are popularly peddled in Razad Han as talismans. Able to move about freely and perform impressive acrobatics, the set of the three divinities counts among the more premium offerings. Alright, teamwork. Medred? Who's Medred? I don't know who Medred is. Oh my god, that's adorable. They're all like standing on... Oh, look at them! Okay, this is a great minion. Yep, this is a great minion. Oh, look, I also got the Anima minion. I'll unlock that and look at that next time. For now, I want to sit with the Maga sisters and their like cheerleading dance routine they have going on. Venat. Are you feeling at all recovered? I understand that your exertions were more than purely physical, but resting one's body, if only for a moment, is never without merit. No, I took a break after that last video. No worries. As for Hermes, I think it unlikely he will create more entelechies. He poured much of himself into Medion, and now that she and her sisters are gone, dissipated in his mind, the grief must be unbearable. Yeah, that's working in our favor for the moment. I mean... poor Medion. I feel so bad for Medion. She's... Especially our Medion. The Medion that we know. Because I know there's sort of a hive mind thing going on, but it's not quite that. Like, she was clearly fighting against getting overwhelmed by what the other sisters encountered. Like, she knew what was happening and was trying to not drown in it. He will blame himself. He will believe that, had he never acknowledged his dissatisfaction with the world, then the Matea would never have been born to suffer and die. The offer to join the 14 will be a welcome distraction, and one day hence he will face the advent of the final days in the role of Fandaniel. Yeah, that seems where things are going. And I can now, Elpis ether current attunement. Oh yeah, I can now fly. Whee! Before I pick up the next quest, let me uncover the little map portion that's over here. And I'm also probably going to spend a little bit of time, because I want to check out some of the fates that I ignored in just the rush to see what was happening last time. What is this? Mapping the realm Elpis. This is like a little garden location. The Chthonic Horns. An apple? Sliced apple? Someone's having a nice little picnic here, or this is an offering. Not sure which. Huh. Oh, I can go in. No one's home, though. Someone likes apples, though. Wait, is this Hermes' little hideout? Because we know Hermes is a fan of candied apples. Maybe where this is meant to be, like, Hermes' little watch post. So just came over to this fate here in the northeast. Eurydike, all bark and no bite. Eurydike, dissatisfied with the meager meals provided her in captivity, has broken free of her enclosure in search of fodder richer in protein. Would-be gardeners beware, should it be undertaken by one of insufficient skill, the necessary pruning will prove deadly. Oh, we got some friends joining us. Eurydike down, and that is a cool-looking boss. Like bouquets on her back and everything. Thou must live, die, and know. This has got to be another reference to Answers, isn't it? Ququshu, listen to me. Our duty now is not to denounce Hermes for his misguided determination, or to convince Emet-Selch and Hythlodaeus that they have been deceived. No, we must instead ensure that the experiences Hermes sought to expunge are preserved. What remains in our memories alone will be our weapon against the final days. You must fight this battle in your age and I in mine. Come, let us walk together once more. I will see you to the doors of Propylaeon. Yeah, this feels like a parting of the ways for the moment. Venat. Your time in this age is drawing to an end. Oh god, here we go. Upon speaking to Venat, several cutscenes will play in sequence. No, we're not ready for this. I'm going to... Oh god, I don't think I'm ready for this. I'm going to... I also mean that literally. I want to do my little sightseeing tour first. Because it feels like we're about to say goodbye to Elpis for a while. So let's see if we can find some sightseeing locations. Here, I've had very little luck in finding these points so far. So this is the first point in my journey I've found. This is up here at the northern part of Kalamelios Zephyros. Oh, look at that! What a great change! Now instead of having to hunt it down, it immediately shows me with the sightseeing log. Vista record. Medibasios Thalasai, an annex to Ququshu Hyperborea. This facility is mainly concerned with the observation and evaluation of sea life. Although its construction appears too narrow to support such an ambitious project, the building's interior harbors 6 separate marine habitats, each painstakingly recreated via arcane means. Yep, bigger on the inside. So this is one I espied during my initial journey through when I was just questing through here. So this is in Ethosoletikos Boreas. Oh shit, I didn't. I'm so used to clicking out of it that I forgot it showed it to me already, or automatically. Ququshu Hyperborea. The most extensive facility in Elpis, Ququshu Hyperborea is a sprawling complex of magically simulated environs. Concepts awaiting evaluation are brought here for the last stages of observation and, upon meeting the appropriate criteria, are finally released into the world at large. What a cool dungeon that was. Aha, here's one around Lethe. Lethe, following a process of exhaustive testing, a creation deemed unsuitable for release into the world is brought to this lake, where its life energies are magically unbound and allowed to dissipate. It is at once the most beautiful as well as the most sorrowful locale in Elpis. Huh. Because we didn't... This was, I guess, the creatures that they did the sending on were already dead at the time, so it makes sense that they wouldn't have brought their corpses to the lake. It sounds like it's generally a more peaceful goodbye, so yeah, these creatures are not long for this world, I guess. The hippes and the Medusae over there. Ah, here's the next one. This is probably going to be just Ananaresis in general. Ananaresis. Named for an ancient word meaning recognition or discovery, this settlement houses those whose job it is to assess the creations admitted to Ququshu Hyperborea. Recognition or discovery. I'll bet that actually is the Greek word, what the Greek word means. These observers study every aspect of their charges and determine if a concept will add to or detract from the environment for which it was designed. Okay. Now, as far as hunting these down, it seems like there's one per major island group here. Whoop, wrong one. Nope, still wrong one. So we got one from Metabaseos Thalasai, Lethe. So we got the northwest island, I think. Lethe, the northeast. Jesus Hyperborea. Ananaresis. So the last one should be somewhere around the 12 Wonders. We got a fate here that popped up. How shall I ever face Overseer Sokles again? What's your problem, Flora Overseer? Oh, this is terrible, just terrible. Some observation reports meant for Overseer Sokles were ripped straight out of my hands by some naughty little Ophiotauroi. I do not know to whom you belong, familiar, but I beg you, return to me my lost documentation. Slay the Ophiotauroi, to get them back, if you must. I do not care. You know, I'm beginning to get on Team Hermes with this. Some of the people here suck. Oh, thank you. I'm not much for swords and sorcery, I confess, so if you hadn't come along... Well, anyway, find the reports and bring them to me. Yeah, we're just going to kill some monsters because you lost your papers. A researcher claims that a pack of incorrigible Ophiotaurus pickers has made off with their documentation and now begs the help of one willing to reclaim that which was stolen. I guess I see what you're saying, but it's... I don't know. It feels like you're adding intention where there really isn't intention by saying that they're stolen. Now, in the comments in the last video, Azulmagia wrote that apparently Ishikawa, the main writer for Endwalker and Shadowbringers, if I remember correctly, apparently she said that she doesn't think Hermes did anything wrong, since his actions ultimately, what did he say? Ultimately led to the creation of the shards. Oh, thank you, I'm saved. Truly, I shall bring all these to Overseer Sokles at once. Now, I disagree with that. I disagree with Ishikawa on that. Like, I think you can have an outcome that results in, ultimately, in an outcome you find positive that's still a wrong action. I don't believe the ends justify the means and all that. But, with that said, I think that people like this Floral Overseer embody the mentality that led to some of the despair that Hermes felt, and rightfully so. And I don't blame Hermes for how he felt. I blame him for how he acted. I think that you can feel despair and feel it sincerely, and not feel it wrongly, and not be judged for it as for feeling that despair or anything like that, while at the same time not agreeing with the actions that he took, which were pretty cataclysmic, and one might even reasonably say disproportionate. So that's my initial thoughts at this stage in the game on Hermes, just in the wake of this silly little fate. And I know that, even as I say this, I know that the fate is mostly gameplay, that we're not... I don't think the game actually wants us to believe that the Elpis researchers would lose some documents, be ashamed of appearing to, of showing their faces as a result of it, and therefore murder a bunch of their creations to get the documents back. But it's also, like, not that far afield from the mentality that a lot of the people who are not Hermes have. They're a lot more casual about being willing to recycle and just return these life forms back to Aetheris. Anyway, I'm going to keep searching for this final elusive sightseeing point for a little bit longer. I didn't find anything on the island with the 12 wonders, so I'll keep looking a little bit longer, but I'll probably just look it up in a little bit. Oh, and there's a fate here. There's a snake in my water supply. A part of me might be procrastinating on this at least a little bit, because I really enjoy Elpis, and I'm going to be sad to put it behind me as a main zone. There's a snake in my water supply. Venomous pythons are in danger of polluting the area's water source with their foul toxins. Thus, until these serpents are dealt with, refrain from drinking the water. And apparently murder them, too. I guess that's dealing with them. Okay. So, I visited here briefly, but apparently, because I didn't look up the exact location, but I looked up what the sightseeing log was for that I missed, and it was for the chthonic horns here, or the chthonic horns, which is the area with the apple. So where is it that I missed a sightseeing log? Oh my god. I was looking like on here, atop all the trees, and it's just friggin' on the ground here. Of course, because they all have to be flown to, but you have to get to this island in the first place, anywhere, even on the ground, you can only access by flying. Oh my good lord. Okay. Let's read about the chthonic horns. Oh, I can't scan the area around Pigeon. I have to just scan the area generally. Vista record, the chthonic horns. The researchers of this small facility are unlike their colleagues in that they seek to manifest... That's right, this was the place that someone was talking shit about, minor shit about, by saying, like, boy, it's weird that they're, like, not using creation magics. That's this area. They seek to manifest new creations without the aid of creation magics. Their natural breeding program pairs creatures with differing characteristics, relying purely on chance to conceive heretofore unimagined possibilities. That's so cool that exists as a thing even in a world with creation magics. And so I guess the apples, because it's a very small area, but maybe we're supposed to infer that this is just their headquarters, that this is not their actual lab and all. And yeah, they got just a nice mix of trees, and what are these, some weird shaped ones, and apparently they like apples. Is the apple thing supposed to reference Hermes, like that Hermes is one of these people? But I kind of don't think so, but I mean, apples have a very specific connotation in 14 now with Hermes, as like his joy for candied apples, but I don't know. Anyway, you know, it just hit me again. I was thinking back when we, at the level 82, or was it 83 quest, when we had that shocking moment where we fought Zodiark, like when, you know, you're expecting it to be like the final boss and it wasn't. And I was thinking, wow, they really set Fandaniel up to be the final boss, and it turns out he was just kind of a fake. He wasn't. That Hermes is still the person who sets this all into motion. Brilliant. Oh, good job, 14. Wow, okay. Even now I wasn't seeing that through line. And I don't see that as, like, the game not being... I see that as subtlety in this case, not the game being obtuse. Okay. Let's see what the ending of this is. I don't want to push this button, but I will. Venat. Your time in this age is drawing to an end. Okay.
So, it is within. The portal that brought you hither, and will take you home.
Yeah, see you on the other side. And even though Emet-Selch didn't know me, Hythlodaeus actually will. Hythlodaeus actually will remember this time. This is where we part ways. Perhaps we should stay and help. No, I think this is where we part ways. I think the amount of help I can lend at this point is limited here.
May you and yours emerge triumphant. Make use of the knowledge you have gained, that your days in Elpis and our friend's sacrifice be not in vain. With Meteion free to pursue her designs, 'tis only a matter of time until the final days are upon us. We must be ready. From fortifying our defenses to securing our escape, there is much to be done.
Yeah.
In spite of this, we cannot allow the report that set this calamity in motion to become common knowledge. Were the masses to learn the fates of the other stars, I fear the situation would spiral out of our control.
You're probably right. I mean, Hermes was uniquely impacted by this, but it's not... I mean, it would hurt. It would hit anyone hard in like in a major existential way, even if they don't react the same way Hermes did.
I must carefully consider who can be trusted, and bring them into the fold.
And so this is where you start to come up with your like, I don't remember what it was called or if there was a name for it, but the convocation that opposed, sorry, I lose words sometimes. The convocation that opposed the creation of Zodiark, or that opposed the continued sacrifices to Zodiark.
Ordinarily, I wouldn't hesitate to call upon the 14. However, it was the desire for a fair determination that drove Hermes to attempt to erase our memories. And were he made aware of his actions, there is no telling whether he would remain a friend or become a foe.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable guess, or a reasonable prediction.
Alternately,
concern.
We might try to alienate him from the convocation. Yet in doing so, we would deprive ourselves of a brilliant mind, who would be invaluable in the crises to come.
Yeah, and not a malicious mind.
Quite the dilemma. Which is why I must work independently of the convocation.
And you get Azem on your side, don't you?
Regardless of how we proceed.
Eventually.
If we are to permanently avert the final days, we must be equal to Hermes' challenge. We must prove that mankind is worthy to exist.
Yeah, this is a little bit like that like the pilot episode of Star Trek The Next Generation with humankind on trial.
And this hinges, I think, on how we confront the all-consuming despair that accompanies a senseless and seemingly inevitable end.
This is very... oh gosh, the whole concept of what we're fighting against here it's so... It's abstract, but it's not like we're just fighting against the cloud of darkness or anything. Like we're fighting against how... I actually really like that. We're not fighting against the embodiment of despair itself. We're fighting against how some people have reacted to that despair, and we're trying to find another way.
Bewildered and divided, we would perish like the peoples of those celestial ruins. We could not hope to survive the final days, much less take the battle to Meteion at her nest.
Oh God, it just hit me. What is Meteion gonna look like when we see her again? I have a feeling she's not going to be the same. She might initially take the form of like the small bird girl, but I doubt it. I think she's going to look quite different.
We must find a way to defeat despair, to unite and prepare as many as possible for the struggle ahead. Heavy will weigh the burden of guiding this legion of souls.
Yeah.
Yet I have faith in mankind's potential. As long as he believes in himself, there is naught he cannot achieve. So I will not give up on him. On us.
I believe in you. And I believe in you because I've seen you.
To be very different. Or perhaps the erasure of our friend's memories has sown the seeds of a conjunction between us.
I'd be surprised if our world ends up different. I think that this is going to have no impact on the future world. I'd be really surprised if like there's any sort of butterfly effect going on. I think this is just this led into the timeline that we left.
We cannot know until the moment is at hand. So shall I strive to do my best, taking naught for granted as I walk my path. And I pray you walk with me to the end.
I will try.
As you
For you,
move
I'll do
forward,
anything.
So too will I, as will all, resolved to fight for the morrow. And when mankind has found the strength to stand against despair, we shall silence the song of oblivion.
There's the song thing again.
She who sings it will learn our journey is far from over. This I promise.
I mean, I agree. It's just, I do think that the song, and this is just a terminology thing probably, but the Song of Despair, if you're talking about things as a song, I think it has a place almost like a bass line, where hopefully it's not the thing that overrides there, but I think it's okay to acknowledge it as in the background and for it to even carry parts of you and make, kind of tie everything together, as long as it's not the only thing that's there.
Fare you well, my light of the future.
I love that
Till we
phrase.
meet again.
My light of the future. Oh, Venat. I was ready for a heel turn from you, and I don't think that's coming. I like Venat quite a lot. I like her quite a great deal. There's almost like a subversion of subversions here, where I was expecting Venat to be like, because she's Hydaelyn and light, so maybe she's secretly evil, but no, she's secretly a person, but she's really light. Here we go again. I wonder if we're going to pop back in the first.
From this day forth, I shall strive to bring honor to the seat of Vandana.
And you did. I mean, you tried. You tried your best. The color shift to red is not a great sign. Is that Venat amid her final days, amid the final days of Amarat? Oh my god, I have physical chills right now. And she knew this was coming. Oh, it's so painful. It's so painful to know the end is coming, to do what you can to fight against it.
I remember standing there, locked in a moment where the sky is aflame. Where stars fall as tears, and screams darken the seas. Where resignation rots the trees.
Everyone's walking away and she just has to keep going forward into it.
Where terror twists magics into abominations.
That black
Such
smoke.
is the lament of they who have gone before. The song of they who tried and failed to create a better world. The song of the end.
Jesus! That maw!
That which hides at the edge of the universe is no longer hope's creation.
Best boy.
It is hopelessness incarnate. That day, mankind saw half of its number sacrificed to bring forth Zodiark.
Oh, Emmett. Again, he's just knowing what he has in front of him, too, just hurts right now.
And covering the star in a shroud of ether, we forestalled the final days.
So that's what it did. Okay, it covered... That's what Zodiark's presence did. It shielded the world from Dynamis. From the Dynamis that Medion was pouring forth. This negative charged Dynamis, right? That's my understanding of, at least, what the final day is now, the cause really is.
Yet the cries echoed still. We wept for innocence lost, wailed for death inevitable.
It's almost a blessing that he doesn't know the origin.
Too terrible to bear. And for too many who sought comfort in gilded memories of joyful days and tranquil nights.
Is this the summoning of Zodiark? Or?
Why must we suffer so?
Bitter ancient.
It needn't be like this. No. There must be a way to restore things to the way they were. To reclaim the perfect paradise we once had.
The birth of the Ascians right here.
No, my friends. Suffering exists. And we cannot pretend otherwise. No civilization, however great, could eliminate it. If we would live, we must accept it as our constant companion.
Yeah. This is what I was saying about the baseline of despair.
Let us not seek to forget this tragedy. Let us carry it in our hearts, that we may grow stronger and know true happiness.
I love you deeply, Venat. I hope that's not weird to say.
We can't accept it. We won't accept it. It will be ours again. A world free of sorrow.
No, it will not. For there has ever been sorrow. Mankind was but spared its biting sting for a time. So please, open your eyes. To try and reclaim those lives we lost by sacrificing yet more isn't wisdom. It is weakness. No paradise is without its shadows. If we cannot accept this truth and learn from our pain, then our plight shall be repeated.
Are they going to look up and see Zodiark there?
Mighty Zodiark! God, born of our boundless faith! We bid you, hear our prayer.
Yeah.
Accept this offering of lives, and deliver unto us the lives we once had.
Is this Hermes?
Deliver unto
Emmet?
us the days of old, the days when the star was a font of love, and we knew naught but bliss.
Oh, God. And knowing naught but bliss is... Wait.
You
Oh,
would
shit.
destroy it? Our beautiful world?
Part of what caused it was your forcing yourself to not see the despair that was there in the beginning.
Lands that stretched on forever. Skies one could drown in. The heartbeat of nature, silent yet strong. And amidst it all, a people. Beacons of light and life. Laughter that warmed my heart like naught else before. They are my meaning and my purpose. My love. In spite of, or perhaps because of this, I choose to believe in mankind's potential, in his ability to find a way forward. So let there be no way back. From that temptation, I sunder us.
There's that word.
No more shall man have wings to bear him to paradise. Henceforth, he shall walk.
She kicked us out. She kicked everyone out of Eden. And was absolutely right to do so. And could we talk about that? How that musical sting comes in? Oh, God. As she drew the sword and prepared for the sundering.
All is excruciating pain. I breathe fire and torment. I birth a world of suffering to mire and plague.
I'm just overwhelmed right now. I'm not laughing because it's funny. It's just... this is a lot to take in. Oh, she's just getting wrecked by, like, history.
In one fleeting moment, lives come and go, ever moving towards the unknown.
Witness suffer.
And in that fleeting moment, they cry for the answer to the question. Why, given life, are they meant to suffer? To die.
I'm like crying right now. I'm not crying, but there's like kind of have to wipe tears every so often here. This is just, it's overwhelming.
As fragmented, imperfect beings, yours is a never-ending quest. A quest to find your purpose. Knowing your end is assured.
Yeah, we can answer together at least.
To find the strength to continue
parallel.
When all strength has left you. To find joy even as darkness descends. And amidst deepest despair, light everlasting.
Oh, Venat. One fleeting moment that I must live, die, and know. Oh my God. I need to pet you, Pigeon.
Conjunction has begun to form. An intertwining of your time and mine. When you truly understand what is at stake, and your journey has prepared you to surmount the insurmountable, then shall I honor the promise made in another time, another age.
What promise was that? I don't remember the specific promise that she's referring to beyond the... That will... Oh, I guess it's just that will overcome that despair. Is Elpis still here? Pigeon withdraws from battle. Oh boy. Okay. I think I have to call it here. I mean, oh God. I think I have to call it here. This is a lot to take in. This was amazing. This is, it's one of those moments. I mean, this is one of those moments that it's one of those moments. It ties together so much of what came before it, so much of what came before it by way from like A Realm Reborn. So many of those themes, and it does so it did that in a way that wasn't, I mean, God, like how often does anime and RPGs and just Western media deal with hope versus despair and keeping on to hope, and so that it's almost it has the potential to be trite. It has the potential to just be, yeah, sure, of course, go for hope, fight against despair. But that whole section in Elpis it brought it down. It brought it down to the level of people, of not vague concepts, but of how these people deal with despair and deal with hope, and what drives them to feel that way, and what tips them, what brings them to the point, to the breaking point, what tips them over the edge, and what causes them to not tip over, some others to not tip over the edge. And it just makes it's all character focused in this game. They don't get lost in the weeds of just lost in I don't know, seeing the forest and forgetting that there are trees at all. Like I'm rambling. That's going to be it for me for now. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.